score touchdowns, which is really important. I think at times the Marauders offense has looked really strong. They've used their misdirection, and they've done a great job of getting themselves to a point where I think they want to be at the half.
Well, we're going to go ahead. We're having a little bit of technical issues here with the broadcast. We're going to go ahead and send it to the half, and we'll be back a few minutes before the start of half number 2 here as the third quarter will be underway. Marcus leads Little Elm 14-3 here at the half at Lobo Stadium in Little Elm. This is Jacob Dedamore and Tyler Welch. We'll see you right before the start of the second half. Marcus leads 14-3 at the half, and this is Marcus Football Night on Tradio and Champion Sports Radio. Welcome back, Marauder fans, to Lobo Stadium here in Little Elm, Texas. Jacob Denimore and Tyler Welch filling in for Tim Smith tonight. And we have the Marcus Marauders leading Little Elm by a score of 14-3 at the half. And it's been kind of an interesting, almost a tale of two quarters, as Marcus, I think, really dominated control of the ball in the first quarter, but it kind of flipped in the second quarter. However, Marcus, Tyler, was able to come away with touchdowns.
The Marcus Band, best of luck at the UIL State Marching Contest next
Touchdowns
week.
in that first quarter, they did a really great job. Then, as you said, it was Little Elm who held the ball the entire time, and the only reason that this one probably isn't closer than you would expect it to be is because this Marauders defense has done a really great job of stopping the bleeding. First, it was making that fourth down stop. Next time, they're getting a turnover on like the 2-yard line. So they're doing a really great job of making turnovers and making big plays when they need them.
Yeah, in that end of the first quarter, there was a fumble in the first quarter by Little Elm. In the second quarter, they got down into the red zone twice, got stopped on fourth down once on a big sack by Gage Patrick, and then forced a fumble the next time down for Little Elm, their second turnover of the half. And Marcus was able to turn Little Elm away both times. And because when you look at the numbers, Marcus outgained Little Elm by 16 yards in that first half. Marcus, when they had the ball, was able to get that ground game going, 122 yards rushing to only 37 for Little Elm. Now, of course, these numbers are a little bit skewed because there have been a number of plays, especially to the running back Tyson Paul, which are counting as passes because it's like these little forward handoffs or little pop passes as he comes in motion, which is basically an extension of the running game because technically Tyson Paul only has 4 carries for 8 yards, but he has 4 receptions for 40, and they've only really thrown him one legitimate pass, and that was on a screen pass to the outside. And so it really, the quarterback run game has been the most effective thing for Little Elm, as even though the numbers don't show it because of a couple of big losses on sacks and things of that nature, both quarterbacks, Tyson Paul and Max Reyes, have been effective running the ball and moving it between the 20s.
Yeah, they really have, and a lot of the time it's them actually running up the middle, whether it's Adams or Reyes, like you said. It seems like they'll drop back and then almost immediately take off down the middle the second they see an opening, not really going to their second or third reads, instead just taking it upfield, and they've been really successful with that. So expect to see Marauders maybe make a defensive adjustment in order to contain the quarterbacks better in this half.
And it is the defense that's going to be on the field first, as Little Elm won the toss and deferred to the second half. For Marcus, Jake Torgerson in that first half, 4 of 6 passing for 43 yards and a touchdown to Jamison Mayfield from 19 yards out. The running attack was effective. Carter Francis and Cade McKnight combining, at least according to the numbers we have, for 13 carries for 48 yards. I think those are a little bit skewed. There might have been a little miss in there from what we're getting. But Peyton Belton had the big play. He was lined up for one play at tailback and took a little handoff and busted down the sideline for a 58-yard score, which has really skewed the numbers. But I think for Marcus, what you got to do is, you need your defense to come out here strong in this first drive of the third quarter. But the offense, with this almost entirely new offensive line playing tonight, 4 of the 5 starters are new tonight for Marcus. They've done an okay job, but they need to see if they can get that going. And the main guy that was causing them problems was number 13, Damari Steele, who's been lining up at defensive tackle.
Yeah, he definitely has been wreaking some havoc over there. I'd say the other thing that they need to work on is just cutting down on the penalties.
The kickoff is deep and caught at the 8-yard line, and coming up the middle and not even getting out to the 20, getting tackled at the 19 was number 14, Jalen Finney, the wide receiver. So a good job on coverage that time by the Marauders. Only an 11-yard return, and Little Elm will start inside their own 20 on this opening possession. You made a good point about the penalties. You are correct. 5 penalties for 30 yards in that first half. 3 of those were on the offensive line, so need to see if they can clean that up. 2 of them were pre-snap, so see if they can clean that up a little bit. But the Marauders will start on defense. Interested to see how they play. Little Elm, almost nearly the entire first half, was running with a 5-wide setup with Tyson Paul lining up at some spot as a wide receiver, and that's what they're going to come out with here. He came in motion a lot, but they've had very few plays with a running back lined up in the backfield. And here comes Paul again in motion, and they hand it to him. Nope, it's a play action. It's a fake, and up the middle out past the 20 to about the 22, a gain of 3. That was Thomas Adams, the quarterback. That's why they're calling those passes, is because he's been handing it off forward to Paul on little zone read action, and so that's why the numbers get skewed. But it is Thomas Adams. Both quarterbacks played and were effective running the ball, Thomas Adams and Max Reyes, in that first half. And Adams gets 3 yards on first down here. Now they line up with 4 receivers in the bottom of the formation. Single receiver up top is Mims. They snap it, and they swing it out to Tyson Paul, who makes the catch but gets hit. And, oh, nice job breaking a tackle out there and getting some yards out of that. Looked like Evan Sachs had him wrapped up, but he was able to power his way forward out to the 26 for a gain of 4, breaking a tackle.
Yeah, and Sachs usually one of those players that is kind of hard to break out of. He's a really great tackler.
He is.
But that time able to gain a few extra yards, but Sachs slowed him down enough at the very least where he wasn't able to burst out for an even larger gain.
So he turns nothing into something there and sets up a 3rd and 3 now for his offense at their own 26-yard line, opening possession here of half number 2. Again, that empty 5-wide set. Adams, here comes pressure. Pass over the middle is incomplete. He had Mims on a little quick slant out of the inside slot and just threw it behind him. And Mims tried to reach back and make a one-handed grab, but just couldn't come up with it. Brady Moore was on the coverage, but he was behind him by a step or 2.
Yeah, we've already seen Mims make one-handed catch in this one. That one he's not able to get to. That one just had a little bit too much zip on it. But, I mean, there was a screamer of a linebacker coming at the quarterback there. Really had no chance to get a clean throw off, so that's why that one was a little bit behind Mims on it.
Yeah, Marcus brought pressure on that 3rd down, and the punt team is on for the first time tonight. And we're going to have a false start before the punt can be booted away. Yeah, I mean, it's the first time tonight we've seen the punt team for the Lobos. They've gotten into Marcus territory a few times and just have gotten stopped. It is number 36, Tanner Woodward, who is on to do the punting. Austin Allen is back deep. He's at his own 45-yard line here. This ball will now be snapped from the 21-yard line. So the Marauder defense comes out and gets a stop. It's a very short punt this time, and it takes a Marcus roll out of bounds at about the Little Elm 45-yard line. Only going to be a 24-yard punt. And the Marauders will take over in plus territory after that at the 45 with a real opportunity here to see if they can get some real space between themselves and Little Elm. Again, the Marauders had a couple of touchdowns in the first half. Also had a missed 47-yard field goal by Santiago Diaz, but that was almost registered irrelevant as on the very next play, Marcus got a fumble and was able to punch that in for their second score. Marauders also had a drive killed by a penalty where they would have had the ball at the Little Elm 40, but a bad luck call took it back. Snap back, handoff to Belton on first down, and he's got open space again. Inside the 35, breaks a tackle inside the 30, still on his feet, and finally gets brought down. Second time tonight we've seen Peyton Belton line up at tailback, and once again he found a little bit of space. We have a flag down near the end of the play, but he got all the way down to the 28-yard line, a gain of 17. Let's see what the penalty is. It was right at the end of the play. And we have a face mask against Little Elm, so move it half the distance to the goal. Wow, Peyton Belton showing that shiftiness that we've gotten to see occasionally at the wide receiver position or as a returner, and that time again just found a little gap in the hole in the line and just right through it.
Yeah, both times that we've seen him with the ball, he has shown some really great explosiveness. Honestly, some of the most explosiveness out of anyone we've seen on the Marauders offense. So another really great run, and then a run that is added on to by that penalty. So really great field position here.
First and 10 at the 14 after the penalty. Under center Torgerson hands it to McKnight, lowers his shoulder through the hole and gets about 4 yards down to the 10. I think that's where they're going to mark him. Yeah, it looks like just short of the 10-yard line. We'll call it 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6 now for the Marauders as they try to take advantage of the good field position and punch this into the end zone. Cade McKnight, unofficially, 7 carries for 22 yards in that first half. He was also a key member of the trick play touchdown on the pass from Torgerson to Mayfield as they ran a double pass on that play, started by McKnight. Now they go empty set with Mayfield lining up at quarterback. Snap back to Mayfield, and he'll throw into the end zone, and it's knocked away and almost intercepted. Mayfield that time snapped it. They spread out 5 wide. Mayfield didn't even look to run. He just tried to lob one up to the Big H, Gavin Huffman, but the Little Elm defense got a hand on it.
Yeah, well, this is a similar position to where they were when they tried that first trick play that did go for a touchdown. They try a little bit more trickery here, but clearly that one didn't work out and almost ended very poorly.
Yeah, the deflection was almost intercepted, so now it's 3rd and 6 at the 10. Torgerson in, he's under center. McKnight in at tailback. And they're going to hand it to McKnight. He's going over the left side, and he is not going to get there. Little Elm defense makes the stop. On the tackle that time was number 28, Tyler Paul. Got around the feet of McKnight and dropped him after only a 2-yard gain. It is now 4th down, and the field goal team will come on.
Well, impressive defensive stop by Little Elm there. They were able, after not really having much success against the run through the first few plays, that time did a really great job of stuffing the run throughout the first, second, and third. And now they're trying to force a field goal here, keep it within 2 scores.
Santiago Diaz will line this one up from 25 yards out. The snap is good. The kick is on the way, and it is good. So this time Santiago Diaz comes through. He missed earlier from 47, but this time he hits from 25, and the Marauders expand their lead up to 14 points. 17-3 Marcus, 8:32 to go in the 3rd quarter. This is Marcus Football Night on Tradio and Champion Sports Radio.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact Mike Bean for your personal price plan today.
Marauders started at the Little Elm 45. They drove it inside the 10, but the drive stalled there after a 37-yard drive, and Santiago Diaz connects from 25 yards out. It's now a 17-3 game. A nice boot by Diaz this time lands a yard deep in the end zone for the touchback, and the Lobos will take over at their own 25-yard line. Solid drive, at least to get started, but then it just kind of bogged down in the end zone as they They tried to trick it up a little bit on 2nd and 6 from the 10, and they had Mayfield at quarterback, and instead of running any kind of a zone read, they spread it out wide, and he elected to throw and just couldn't connect.
Yeah, definitely not what they were hoping out of that drive. Whenever you start in your opponent's territory, it's sort of an opportunity where you think this is where we're going to get a touchdown, but obviously not the outcome there, but still able to come away with some points, which after a really great defensive stop is a plus.
17-3 now, Marcus leads. And Little Elm starts at their 25. They actually have Paul in the backfield to start this play. Pass is a little quick throw out to Mims, and he breaks a tackle, and he's going to get the first down. Nice job by Mims. He didn't just go out of bounds. Caught that little 7-yard quick out, turned upfield, and got to the 35 to move the sticks.
Well, we know Mims is probably the best offensive weapon on Little Elm. I'm surprised that they haven't been able to find him more. Perhaps we'll see some more in the second half.
Running tempo, snap back to Paul. He breaks a tackle, gets to the 2nd level, and gets tripped up outside the 40. 9-yard gain to the 44 as Little Elm getting ahead of the chains is trying to speed things up offensively. 2nd and a yard now. They're getting the signal from the sideline and now lining up. It is still Thomas Adams in on this series at quarterback, and now they spread it out empty. Well, never mind. Paul now goes back into the backfield. Snap back. And it's a handoff to Paul, coming over the left side this time into Marcus territory. Another good run as they found some room this time on the left side of the line. Gets it to the Marcus 48. That's an 8-yard gain and a first down.
And 3 straight positive plays. They're really moving it down here quick. After that first drive, they really didn't have any momentum there. This time, much different story.
1st and 10 in Marauder territory at the 48 for Little Elm. Shotgun snap back. They give it to Paul again. Find some room inside the 45 and down to the 42. That's another good, strong run from Tyson Paul. This is the most effective he's been on the ground here so far in this game on straight handoffs. He gets 6 yards to the 42. Little Elm offensive line doing a good job opening up some space for Tyson Paul to run on this possession. Little Elm lines up. This time they're going to have 3 receivers up at the top of the formation. Mims, the single receiver at the bottom. Snap back to Adams. He play action. They're going to fire one to Mims down the field, and it is almost intercepted. Brady Moore was tracking it and was running with Mims step for step, and at the last minute went up to almost intercepted that ball and stole it from Mims.
I mean, that's about as perfect as coverage as you can get when you're on a guy like Mims. Was with him the entire way, didn't lose a single step, and then watched the ball as it came in, deflected it, almost picked it. Can't ask for more from a defensive back.
3rd and 4 now as Little Elm goes tempo again. Not wasting any time. I got a little comment about Mims here in a second. He is doing some very veteran things at wide receiver that I've been noticing. 3rd and 4 for the Lobos at the Marcus 42. Snap back, and now time is stopped as it looked like Little Elm went ahead and called a timeout as the play clock was down to 2 seconds, and they didn't want to risk it, so they'll call the timeout. I've seen Mims. There's been like 3 or 4 times now they've tried to hit him deep on a fade route at the sideline, and Brady Moore is doing a great job of staying with him, but Mims is doing a very veteran thing that you see a lot from NFL receivers. He senses that guy on him, and right as the ball is getting in at the last second, he's just doing a little chicken wing. Like, it's not something that's ever going to draw a flag because you're not extending the arm, but he's just doing a little half-arm chicken wing shove to get separation at the last second to try and make the catch. It's a very veteran move. You see it all the time from NFL receivers. And
honestly, if some of these balls that he's been given hadn't been underthrown, that probably would have worked in order to make a catch here or there. Really, his one big catch came on the ball that was very far underthrown.
Yeah, behind him. Yeah.
Brady didn't turn around in time to see it, so he just sort of drops back, catches it with one arm. Not really a play that was Brady Moore's fault by any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it was just a very athletic play by Mims. 3rd and 4 as the teams are back out on the field. 4 wide formation with Paul in the backfield. Got to think this is probably 4-down territory for Little Elm here. Shotgun snap back. Thomas Adams is going to fire one up the sideline again, and that is going to be caught. Brady Moore fell down at the last second, just lost his footing, and that made the catch very easy for Carlton Mims, and he makes the grab at the 12-yard line. That's a gain of 30.
And we look back at that throw. He made that throw despite a roughing the passer call. Got hit very late on it, but just a beautiful throw down the field. Defender falls, and Mims makes yet another great catch. Such a great athlete to be able to control his body, control it as he falls to be able to make that catch and get a really big gain.
Yeah, and it's going to move the ball to the 6-yard line, 1st and goal, because they did call roughing the passer on the play as Adams got hit after he released the throw. So once again, Little Elm is down in the red zone, inside the 10 even, trying to punch it into the end zone and cut this lead in half. Getting the signal from the sideline, trying to get their formation set. They're going to go with a 3-wide look this time with Paul in the backfield and an offset tight end. And it's going to be a handoff to Paul up the middle. He's got room inside the 5, down to the 1. Nice strong run from Tyson Paul, a gain of 5. Now they're running tempo, lining it up quickly. Going to bring the formation in tight this time. 3 receivers bunched just off the line. Now they're going to go tush push, and that was an easy, but now we're going to have a flag because that's going to be an illegal motion. The running back, Tyson Paul, started running forward before the ball was snapped, and that's going to be an illegal shift. Actually, it's going to be a false start. They're going to back it up 5. They tried to run up, Adams tried to run up under center and do a quick snap and just basically shove his way into the end zone, and Paul comes up behind him for like a tush push, and he never got set.
Yeah, you can see there, that's exactly what happened, and what would have been an easy play had he just stayed where he was. Now they're back at least a couple more yards. Makes it a bit of a trickier touchdown conversion.
Yeah, 2nd and goal back at the 6 now where this settle down started. Shotgun snap back, handoff to Paul, and he gets hit right at the line of scrimmage as Brady Moore came on a corner blitz from the outside. Paul does end up getting forward progress of a yard, but that's a great play by Brady Moore.
Absolutely. Moore reads it the second he sees the handoff. He was going for the quarterback, but instead changes direction, finds the running back, and makes a really great tackle behind the line. Obviously, he was able to get forward a yard, but just a really, really strong, smart defensive play.
3rd and goal now for the Lobos at the Marauder 5-yard line. Just over 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Marcus leading 17-3. Been a really solid possession here from the Lobos. They've had a lot of effective runs and then, of course, hit the big pass to Mims as Brady Moore lost his footing on the play. Now they get the call from the sideline. They're going to go again with a 3-wide set with an offset tight end on the right side. Snap back. Adams looking to throw. He's going to fire over the middle, or out towards the end zone. I'm sorry, and that is incomplete. He threw it on an out route to number 87, Tristan Riley, and the pass was just a little bit too far out in front, and they couldn't connect, and it's now 4th down.
I see it again. Throws it out wide, just a little bit too far, like you said. It's a really tight window he had to try and fit it into there. Wasn't able to get it quite where he wanted it to.
Logan Loxley was on the coverage, and the offense does stay on the field for Little Elm. They're going to go for this on 4th and goal from the 5. Marauders trying to come up with yet another stop. 3 receivers up at the top of the formation. Paul in the backfield. Snap back to Adams. He's going to step up into the pocket. He's going to fire one towards the end zone, and it is incomplete. There's a flag down in the middle of the field. He was trying to hit Mims in the corner, but the pass did not get to him, and it bounced in. Let's see what the flag is. The flag was back in the middle of the field away from where the play went. It looks like this is going to go against Marcus the way everybody's reacting. And it is. It's a defensive hold against Marcus. Man, they get the 4th down stop, but it's going to be an automatic 1st down for Little Elm inside the 3.
Yeah, it's hard to see quite where that one came, but they did a really good job pressuring the quarterback, threw it out wide, and the throw just too short for Mims to be able to catch it.
1st and goal just inside the 3 now after the penalty. It's a handoff to Paul. He goes over the right side, and he gets down to the 1 and gets stood up by the Marcus defense. The Marcus defense at the very least is making them earn this. Man, oh man, they had that 4th down stop. But you can only assume that a receiver or somebody got grabbed out there in the middle of the field. We just couldn't see it. They line up quick under center, and Adams tries to sneak it across, and he doesn't get there. They tried to run him like they did earlier in this set of downs. Tried to run him up under center and quick snap it, and he only got about a half yard as he moved forward, and it's now 3rd and goal.
I see another quarterback sneak there, but the defense line so strong, able to stop it from happening. They're going to try it again.
Try it again, and he's not going to get there. He got pushed backwards this time. The Marcus defense fires off the ball and pushes Adams back. He loses a 1.5 yards back to the 2. It is now 4th and goal again.
Yeah, and on that one, he didn't even get close. It felt like almost as if the defensive line was able to penetrate the offensive line the second it was snapped.
Yeah.
Another really great stop, and they are holding their own right here within their own 5.
He never moved. He moved backwards right off the snap. You're right. The line got pushed back right as he snapped the ball. He loses a 1.5 yards. It's now 4th and goal from the 2. Marcus tries to get this stop one more time. Tight formation. Receiver goes in motion. Snap back. Hand off to Paul. Going over the left side. It's close. We have a flag down. Did he get in or not? I don't think it matters. I think, oh man, they're going to call. I think they're going to call another penalty on Marcus, I think. He got stopped again short inside the 1 yard line.
Or did he?
We haven't heard any call from the officials at all. They're still conversing about what the penalty was, what the call on the field was, all of that.
And see, they ran it back up the middle. We'll see if he was able to break the plane or not. That's close, but I think he may have before that knee hit the ground. Hard to get a great angle with all the bodies that were in
they
there.
never signaled touchdown on the field. It is a touchdown. They did now have signaled touchdown, and they say it was a face mask on Marcus on the play. Good Lord. So they do call a touchdown. They said he did break the plane, so the Lobos get on the board. Snap is back. Extra point is up and good. 2:50 to go here in the third quarter. A 2-yard touchdown run on 4th and goal by Tyson Paul gets the Lobos on the board. And now that Marauder lead has been cut in half. It's 17-10. This is Marcus Football Night on Tradio and Champion Sports Radio.
Are you ready to score big in the game of home ownership? Southern Collective Realty is here to get you into the end zone of your dream home. Hi, I'm Amy Turner, and I'm the broker and owner of Southern Collective Realty. I've been a Marcus mom for the last 6 amazing years and a great supporter of the Marauders.
I'm Sarah Grant, and I'm proud to be a Marauder mom and aunt. Together we bring in over 20 years of experience in Flower Mound and surrounding areas. Southern Collective Realty, where every home purchase is a victory.
Ready to kick off your search? Give us a call today.
So the Little Elm Lobos get into the end zone for the first time tonight on 4th and goal on a 2-yard touchdown run by Tyson Paul. And the weird thing about that drive is it took the Lobos 8 plays from the 6-yard line to finally punch it in, as they got stopped on 4th and goal once, but the Marauders got called for a penalty on a defensive holding, and then it went to 4th and goal again, and he actually got into the end zone after a 5-minute discussion from the officials. But they called a penalty. Even if he hadn't gotten in, they called a face mask on Marcus that would have extended the drive. But man, oh man, that was a that was a long set of downs. 8 plays from inside the 6, and Little Elm finally cashes in. It's now 17-10. 2:50 to go here in the third quarter. Now the Marcus offense has to answer. And the face mask has them kicking off Little Elm from the Marcus 45-yard line, so the Marauders are up, ready for a potential onside kick here.
I mean, why not try? You've been doing pooch kicks pretty much all games. You're kicking it to kind of the same general yard line. If you try here, maybe you get a chance at the ball.
They're still waiting. I don't know if they're getting, the referees are still trying to get set. It looks like they don't have their positioning set. That touchdown for Tyson Paul is his 5th touchdown run of the season. And I'm not really sure what's going on. There's something going on with the officials. I don't know what the problem is. But they're talking to somebody with, I guess, facility operations. Something was going on. And they pointed something out over towards the Marcus stands, which are behind the track here. As you can see on the video, the visiting stands are very far back from the field, because not only is it the track, but it's where you have all like the long jump and pole vault pits and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not really sure what the issue was. They sent somebody towards the Marcus stands. And looks like now we're finally ready to go here. And they do try the onside kick, the big hop, and then Marcus recovers it. So the hands team does its job as number 15, Cole Schott, just took the high hop, caught it, and went right to the ground. So Little Elm took the chance after the face mask penalty, moved it to the Marcus 45, and Marcus will take over at their own 33-yard line to start this next possession.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want in an onside kick. Get the big hop, give your team a chance, but like you said, Schott right there to bring it in, fall to the ground, and get his team possession.
Now the Marauder offense comes back out on the field. Had their lead cut in half, need to see if they can get this thing going again offensively and get down the field, get some more points. Torgerson in at quarterback, out of the shotgun. Snap back, it's a handoff to Francis, and just not much there that time. He gets stood up right at the line of scrimmage as just Marcus' offensive line just didn't really get any movement that time. He was hit by multiple defenders right as he crossed the line to be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that was Averin Pendleton, the defensive lineman who led the way. Of course, he had a whole cavalry with them. Really everyone there to make the stop on that one.
This time it's Mayfield that's going to go line up at quarterback in the shotgun. And he's going to give it to Francis, who's trying to get the corner. He gets it. He gets around the corner and is going to get a first down. Great job by Marcus on the zone read handoff from Mayfield to Carter Francis. Great blocks on the outside, seals that corner, and Francis uses his speed to move the chains out at the 43-yard line.
And what makes that so successful is you have to worry about Mayfield running the ball with how great of an offensive weapon he is. Instead, you hand the ball off, get the outside corner, and with the speed that he has, they're able to get it all the way down to a first down.
Yeah, broke a tackle right there at the end by Kason Evans, the safety, to make sure he got that first down. Marcus has the ball now, 1st and 10 at their own 43. Under center, handoff to Francis, and going to get a few yards this time going over the left side, kind of between left guard and left tackle. Gets about 4 yards out to the 47-yard line. This is what the Marauders want to do. They want to get this, keep the run game, keep them ahead of the chains. That way they can kind of cherry pick when and where they want to throw the ball. 2nd and 6 now for the Marauders. Minute and a half to go here in the third quarter. McKnight back in at tailback, and Torgerson will line up in the shotgun this time. Play action, quick throw, pass is caught by Austin Allen. See where they marked this. Going to be about a yard short of the first down at the 48 of Little Elm on a little quick hitch route. It was a good open field tackle. Right as Allen caught the ball, he got wrapped up and brought down. Gain of 5. He's going to set up 3rd and a yard. Number 55, Averin Pendleton checks back in along the defensive line for Michael Agimang. Big formation in for the Marauders. Torgerson. Oh, the ball's on the ground, and it's going to be a fumble recovery for the Little Elm Lobos. A bad exchange between Torgerson and McKnight put the ball on the turf, and it looked like Little Elm pounced on it. They haven't made a signal yet. Now they do, and the Lobos have their first turnover of the ball game.
Yeah, you said it exactly. It actually wasn't even the snap.
Yeah.
He, as he was taking it back, just sort of bobbled it, wasn't able to get full control of it, and then as he was going back, drops it, and the defensive line right there to land on it. A very unfortunate turn of events here for Marcus, who had been pushing down the field fairly strongly.
Yeah, I mean, that time, you're right. I mean, Torgerson came out from under center, almost looked like he either tripped over the leg of one of his linemen or got stepped on, so he lost his balance and just lost control of the football as he was trying to give it to McKnight, and the exchange was never made. So Little Elm takes over after getting their first turnover, and they take over at the Marcus 49 with only 30 seconds left in the quarter, but they only trail by 7. 4-wide formation with Paul in the backfield with Adams. Hands off to Paul and tries to go over the right side. Not much room this time as he only gets a couple of yards to the 47. They're actually only going to give him a yard to the 48. 2nd and 9 now as we're under 10 seconds to go. See, it looks like Little Elm is going to go ahead and let the clock run out here to end the third quarter, and that is what they're going to do. So we go to quarter number 4. The Marcus Marauders right now clinging to a 7-point lead. They lead Little Elm 17-10. This is Marcus Football Night on Tradio and Champion Sports Radio.
From kickoff to dinner time, Flurry's Market Plus Provisions is your hometown spot. We're local, family-run, and obsessed with quality hand-cut meats, Cajun-inspired plates, and the best burgers in Flower Mound. Join us for lunch or dinner, or swing by the market for steaks and sides to feed the whole crew. Flurry's is proud to support Marcus High School and the community we call home. Flurry's Market Plus Provisions. Local. Quality. Community. Go Marauders!
We go to the final stanza here in Little Elm at Lobo Stadium. Jacob Dedamore and Tyler Welch here with me tonight. The Marauders right now lead Little Elm 17-10, but the Lobos have the ball on the Marcus 48, 2nd and 9 after the fumbled exchange between Jake Torgerson and Cade McKnight. In the shotgun is Little Elm with Thomas Adams at quarterback. He's going to play action it. Pass over the middle, caught by Mims, and he's got room to run. Inside the 10, the 5, and he's into the end zone. The RPO action, Mims gets open on the quick slant. He takes it to the house from 48 yards out, and the Lobos are an extra point away from tying this up. And at the moment, they're leaving the offense on the field, and they're going to go for 2.
And all that was a simple slant pass, but as you said, the RPO action caused the linebackers to crash, allows them to make the throw wide open up the middle, and Mims, with his speed, able to just take it to the house.
And now the extra point team does come on. Looked like for a moment like Little Elm was going to try and go for 2 to take the lead. But on the first play of the second quarter, Thomas Adams connects with Carlton Mims for a 48-yard strike. Extra point snap is down, the kick is up, and it is good. 11:51 to go in the ball game. We are all starting over here in Little Elm. It is 17-all between Marcus and Little Elm. This is Marcus Football Night on Champion Sports Radio and Tradio. So the Little Elm Lobos take advantage of the fumble as it takes them 2 plays to go 49 yards. The last 48 coming on a catch and run by Carlton Mims. He is now over 100 yards receiving tonight, and he punches it into the end zone. That's his 8th touchdown catch of the season for Carlton Mims. And the Little Elm Lobos have come back to tie this thing up. It is 17-all. Jacob Dedamore, Tyler Welch here with you. By the way, that is touchdown pass number 6 on the season for Thomas Adams. Once again, Little Elm just kind of fakes the potential onside kick, but Marcus was ready for it. Now everybody spreads out. Austin Allen sending everybody up front just in case of the short pooch. He's going to drop back deep in the middle of the field, and now Peyton Belton is going to move back. They do kick this one deep, and it's hooking towards the sideline. It's caught by Austin Allen at the 8. It comes back up the middle, has room out past the 25 into the 29-yard line. Nice solid return by Austin Allen, and now we've got a late flag coming out as there was definitely some pushing and shoving, and we'll see who this one is on.
I see the return. Good one, just takes it up the middle. Nothing too crazy, but then after the play, that's sort of where the fireworks happened. Looks like a little push back and forth there. Almost looked like he was trying to catch his balance, accidentally pushed, but definitely some words to be said to one another after the fact led to that penalty.
Now, penalties have been an issue for Marcus tonight, which is something they really couldn't afford to happen. We'll see who this one is on. But the Marauders have had some very unfortunate penalties on both offense and defense that have cost them dearly.
Now, it looked like the Little Elm defender was just trying to catch his balance, sort of prevent himself falling, but ended up landing on the Marauder return.
We still haven't gotten a signal. These referees have really had a lot of long group discussions about a lot of calls tonight. And it is against Little Elm, an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. And so that's going to add 15 yards and move it out to the 44. So great starting field position for the Marauders as they now find themselves in a tie ball game.
Yeah, and they really need this here. It really feels like Little Elm has taken the entire momentum of this game. They've scored the last 2 touchdowns. Now we need to see Marcus make a statement here, get themselves back into this game with at least a field goal or something to take this lead back and take a little bit of this Little Elm momentum away.
Torgerson in the shotgun. And he is going to hand the ball to no, he's going to keep it on a zone read action and going to get a few yards around the corner. Only going to get 2 as he kept that ball, tried to get to the corner and just couldn't turn up. So it's going to be 2nd and 8.
Yeah, the defensive back Currents went with him the entire way. He fakes a handoff, runs it out to the right. Was able to fool some of the defensive linemen, but as you can see there, had some of his defenders with him, both Currents and number 28.
Yeah, that's Tyler Paul, the linebacker.
That's right.
Yeah, that's curious because that's good heads-up defense by Paul because Torgerson really hadn't kept the ball much tonight on runs. He had a couple of scrambles, but that was about it. 2nd and 8 now. This time he will hand the ball off to Belton, and he's going to get dropped behind the line for a yard loss as Belton just couldn't find anywhere to go. And it was 99 Aiden Main who got in there and wrapped up Belton for a yard loss.
And Marcus's offense has really seemed to lose all the steam that they had first in the first half and then really in their first drive of the second half. Not seeing any of that production that we saw earlier in this game.
They got that field goal on their first possession of the third quarter when they moved downfield, but the drive kind of stalled after they moved. But yeah, that fumble really has energized Little Elm on both sides of the ball. 3rd and 9 now at the 45 for the Marauders. Snap back to Torgerson. Looking downfield, he's going to fire a ball, and he just misses Luke Susko. Susko looked like he had some space on a little quick out just past the sticks, and Torgerson was off target, and the Marauders are going to have to punt the ball back to the Lobos.
And that's a very disappointing 3 and out there.
Yeah,
as I mentioned, Little Elm already with lots of momentum, and now 3 and out, giving them the ball right back and a chance to take a lead for the first time in this game.
Bear Kogler on to punt. It's only his 2nd punt of the night. And this is not a good one. It's off the side of his foot and out of bounds at around the Little Elm 40, although we have a flag down inside the 30. But that was not a good punt from Bear Kogler. Only went, see, they marked it out at the 40 or the 41. They're going to sort out the penalty first, but it was only about a 15, 16-yard punt. It looks like they're marking it at the 37, but this Marcus may get a bit of a break and get some yardage on this penalty, and it's a holding penalty against Little Elm on the kick. So a little bit of fortunate action there for Marcus as they get 10 extra yards off that bad punt. That one just hit off the side of the foot of Bear Kogler, and so they end up with a decent yardage out of it after the penalty. Ends up being about 30 yards net on the net on that one. So 1st and 10 for the Lobos. Again, in that 4-wide set, they hand it to Paul, and he's got room, gets to the 2nd level, breaks a couple of tackles, and gets out to the 44-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 17 for Tyson Paul, as this Lobo offense has really started to find some lanes here in this second half.
They really are, and if it hadn't been for the tackle there by Easton Mitchell, that one potentially could have gone for a touchdown. That one was very close to being a huge, huge play.
Marcus defense needs to come up with some stops and come up with them quickly. 1st and 10 at the 44 for the Lobos. Another handoff to Paul coming over the right side. Gets around the corner, turns up to about the 48. Can get about 4 before he gets pushed back. Right now, this Lobo offensive line is doing a great job of moving guys out of the hole, getting hat on a hat, and just moving guys out of the way against a light box. It's because of the style of offense that Little Elm runs. Marcus isn't able to commit too many bodies into the middle, and Little Elm's taking advantage of it.
That's absolutely right. They're always keeping at least 3 to 4 wide receivers out wide, really spreading out their offense, which leads to those defensive backs, those linebackers having to play out wide or not cram the box. And as you said, the offensive line of Little Elm doing a really great job of taking those one-on-one matchups and creating opportunities for the running backs.
2nd and 6, Paul comes in motion. They hand it to him on the jet sweep. He breaks a tackle and gets inside the 45 of Marcus to the 44 for a 1st down after a gain of 7. That's another one of those little forward handoffs out of the empty formation when he comes in motion that he's had a number of tonight. And he takes advantage of it yet again, down to the 44, 1st and 10.
I say they're really trying to find any way they can to get it into Paul's hands, whether it's a direct handoff or one of those forward handoffs like you mentioned. They're getting it to him as much as they can, and every time they have so far in this half, really seems like they're getting positive yardage.
Marcus needs to change something up on defense. It's 1st and 10 at the 44. 9 minutes to go here in the ball game. We're tied at 17. Adams takes the snap, and he's going to, he really threw one up for grabs there. He got pressured by a linebacker blitz from Ryan San Miguel as he dropped back on the play action and just threw it away. Fortunately for him, it was just far enough to the outside to avoid an interception. That was a dangerous decision by Thomas Adams.
Yeah, Ryan San Miguel completely unblocked off of the edge, led to that errant throw, and one that had it stayed in maybe a yard or two more, a chance for an interception and to turn the tides.
2nd and 10 at the 44 now. Snap back. Here comes pressure. Adams fires one up, and that pass is caught. A great catch, or is it? They are going to call it a catch. It's Mims once again, just basically fighting off the defender to make the catch, and the Lobos have the ball at the Marcus 12-yard line. You could see the defender coming in. Just what an incredible catch by Mims. He's made a couple of these tonight as Evan Sachs was right there with his arm in between Mims's arms, but Mims is able to fight through it and catch the ball at the 12. Just a phenomenal play by Carlton Mims. First and 10 now for the Lobos at the Marcus 12. Quarterback draw by Adams. Makes a man miss, gets inside the 10, still on his feet, and he's going to score. What a run by Thomas Adams. Broke 2 tackles and got to the pylon before the rest of the defense could get to him, and the Lobos had the lead for the first time tonight.
Adams has had his fair share of great runs tonight, but that one might be his best. He showed the speed, he showed the power. He's not the biggest guy on the field, but he had to have a lot of strength in order to break through that tackle, and that is a really big one to give his team their first lead of the night.
Extra point team is on. Snap is down. Kick is up, and the kick is good. 8:12 to go in the ball game, and the Lobos now have a 7-point lead. It's 24-17 Little Elm. This is Marcus Football Night on Tradio and Champion Sports Radio.
Point Bank is proud to support the Marcus Marauders football season. Show your Marauder pride with a custom Point Bank school logo debit card. Learn more at pointbank.com. It's not just banking, it's point banking. Member FDIC.
Here's the day you hoped would never come. Don't feed me violence.
The Little Elm Lobos take the ball 73 yards and punch it in on a 12-yard touchdown run by the quarterback, Thomas Adams. And for the first time tonight, they have a lead. They have come back from 17 to 3 down. They now lead 21-17 with 8:12 to go. And the bottom line here in this second half, Little Elm players are making plays and Marcus Marauder players are not. The Lobos right now, when they have a chance to make a play, whether it's a diving catch, a contested catch, breaking tackles on a run, they're doing it.
Yeah, the Lobos have done a really great job of getting the extra yard, breaking the extra tackle, doing all the little things right in order to make those big plays happen. And it has led to them going on a 21-0 run now to potentially put themselves in a position to get their first win of the season.
High short kick caught at the 10 by P.C. Carter. His helmet gets knocked off, and I'm not sure how that's not a penalty, because P.C. Carter is now down, unfortunately. His helmet got knocked off, and then he got hit again with his helmet off, and he is down on the turf, and now he's sitting up, which is a good sign. But Carter caught that kick at the 36, And you just hope that he's all right. I mean, his helmet got knocked off, and then we're seeing the replay here. He got hit at the 36. His helmet got knocked off, and he's still on his feet, so the Little Elm players hit him again without a helmet. I'm just not sure how that's not a penalty.
Yeah, obviously it wasn't a face mask. The helmet just came off on the result of the contact. But then the next player.
Well, yeah, but the thing is this is the rule, and everybody by now should know this in high school football. If the player's helmet comes off, the play is dead at that point. I know he was still on his feet, but the play is dead at that point.
So it was gutsy by him to
I don't think he was necessarily trying to run it. He was just on his feet because he didn't get knocked down when his helmet got taken off, and he's just standing there. And, he's sitting up, which is good. He started sitting up before the trainers even got to him. But, I mean, he got hit in the face and in the head by two players with helmets on. And so, you just hope he's okay. And he's coming off under his own power now. I mean, he looks to be okay. I really am just kind of shocked that that no flag was thrown on that. And they mark him, and they also marked him at the 34, which is a bad spot. Boy, this officiating crew has had some struggles tonight. He caught the ball at the 36 and got hit and knocked backwards, and that's when his helmet came off. The play is dead, but you still give the guy forward progress. Now the Marauders need to find an answer here on offense. Their last two possessions, they've had a turnover and a 3-and-out. They fake it to Belton. Mayfield takes it up the middle as he was in a quarterback that time, gets about 3 yards out to the 37. Now Torgerson's going to check back in at quarterback, just running the zone read.
I see Mayfield fakes a handoff, tries to take out Miller, trying to use all these weapons that they have, use that misdirection that served them so well in the first half, but so far in the second half, not really doing the same.
Torgerson takes a shotgun snap. He's going to fire one pass. It's caught over the middle. It's going to be a first down out past the 45 to the 46. I believe that was the tight end. Nope, check it. That was Jamison Mayfield. It was not Kogler. It's going to be a gain of 10 out to the 47, and the Marauders move the chains. Going back a couple of possessions ago, they were moving the ball, and then the fumble happened on a 3rd and 1, and that really had turned the tide. And you could even say it started with the 8-play possession down inside the 10, where a penalty continued the drive. 1st and 10 at the 47. Handoff to McKnight. He's got some room, but gets tripped up from behind. Looked like he was going to get a nice gain there. Gets 4 before he gets tripped up from behind.
Like you said, this one looked like he had a bit of room. It was really great blocking by the offensive line, but then the linebacker looked like was able to come around from behind. Number 28 there, that is
that's Tyler Paul, who's made a few plays here in this second half. 2nd and 6 now at the Little Elm 49 for Marcus. Snap back, handoff, and it's going to get dropped for a loss as there was major penetration that time. They had Belton in the backfield and tried to get the ball to him, but he got hit almost right after he took the handoff by number 10, Michael Agyemang. And Belton loses 4 yards back to the Marcus 47 to make it 3rd and 10. And that's been the problem here in this second half. The last couple of possessions especially, you get a positive play and then somebody gets penetration and knocks you backwards. 3rd and 10 now for the Marauders, under 6 minutes to go. Play action, Torgerson rolling to his right, looking for a man. He fires it down the field, and it's incomplete. Oh, man, he missed an open Austin Allen. Torgerson, as he's rolling to his right, had Austin Allen going with him and was out in front of the defense, but he missed him and tried to throw it to Susko back over the middle of the field. And now the punt team is going to have to come on.
Yeah, like you said, that throw, trying to go to Susko, going out to his right. Wasn't able to get the strongest throw off because he was on the run and had number 99 there on the play. But yeah, just a little bit too high, not able to make the grab, and in double coverage, just a tricky throw to make.
Mayfield takes the snap. This is Mayfield punting this time. And he gets a nice bounce inside the 15, and this is going to roll dead at the 10-yard line. Great punt by Jamison Mayfield, 43 yards as he was punting for Kogler that time, and gets a good one off. Yeah, just going back to that third down play, it was just a missed read by Torgerson as he's rolling to his right. Mayfield was on the shallow route on an out, and if he hits him, that's a first down easily because he had 2 steps out in front of the defender.
Yeah, tough play, and it really felt like he was feeling panicked because of the pressure that he was facing, didn't necessarily make the read that he wanted to, and it just feels like this offense hasn't been able to put chunk plays together. As common sense as it sounds, you have to be able to tie a few plays together in order to create a drive, and up to this point, they're maybe getting 1, maybe 2 good plays in a drive, but not 3, not 4, not 5, and able to score on any of the drive so far.
Hand off to Paul on first down, going over the right side, and again, he breaks a tackle and gets a 6-yard gain out to the 16. The Marauder defense desperately has to get a stop here on this possession to get the ball back to their offense, trailing by 7, but they have not been able to slow down the Little Elm offense here in the second half. Since the first drive of the third quarter, they have not been able to get a stop. As the ground game has really gotten going for Little Elm here in the second half. 2nd and 4 at the 16. Snap back to Adams, and pass is incomplete. He was trying that little RPO action, trying to get Mims on the slant, and they just couldn't connect that time. Brady Moore had decent coverage, but it looked like there was an opening, but Adams just couldn't hit it.
Yeah, he definitely had a chance to hit Mims, just had to throw it a little too hard. Mims not able to get his hands on it, but had he been able to catch that one, there was a lot of green grass in front of him.
Now, Brady Moore was right on his back. It would have been interesting to see if he could make the tackle, but bottom line is it's 3rd and 4, and the Marauders needing a stop at the 16-yard line. Paul in the backfield with Adams. And they bring pressure to the Marauders. Passes up the near side, and that's going to be incomplete, but big flags come out, and Evan Sachs is going to get called for pass interference as he had his hands wrapped around the receiver, number 81, Lincoln Daniels. And again, the penalties are really hurting the Marauders here in the second half.
And that one, about as clear of pass interference as you can get. Everyone's calling for it the second they saw it. But that ball throws it up, and then the defensive back, as he's trying to make a play, really just doesn't turn his head to look for the ball, is only looking at the receiver the entire time. And when you have your hands on the guy like that and you're not trying to get the ball, they're going to call that every time.
Yeah, it was just a panic play that time. He really didn't need to do do what he did to prevent the play from happening. And once again, the Marauders, on the verge of getting a stop, commit a penalty to allow Little Elm to keep the drive going. 1st and 10 out at the 31. Play act, no, it's a handoff to Paul, and he's going to fall forward for a yard as he got hit at the line. And is able to just kind of squeeze his way forward for a yard to make it 2nd and 9.
He ran right into the lap of Liam Hoskins. That's a name that we haven't called in a little while, but as you can see there, Hoskins able to break his defender, take him down with him, and a good stop that they're really going to need to make soon as the clock just keeps ticking.
Now, the Marauders have all 3 timeouts that they can work with here. He's choosing not to use one just yet. Snap is back, and a little bit of a busted play. Adams is going to almost spin loose. He looked like he was looking to hand off, and Tyson Paul was running away from him, so he just had to take off. And he ends up getting 5 yards out of it as he was able to spin out of a tackle to get an extra couple. 3rd and 4 now for the Lobos.
Yeah, exactly right. He's trying to hand it off there, but Tyson Paul nowhere to be seen. Maybe a little bit of a hold there too, but at least makes something out of nothing, gets a few positive yards, and sets his team up in a shorter 2nd down position.
3rd and 4 from the 37 for Little Elm, just under 3.5 minutes to go. Shotgun snap back. Adams on a straight quarterback draw, and he's going to get the first down and a lot more. He's in the open field, and he's into Marcus territory at the 47-yard line. And we have a flag down, though, back at the 44. It was a straight quarterback draw that time with Paul on the lead block. Let's see what the flag is. They dropped it back at the 44. They might be bringing this one back. It's gonna, if it's a hold, it's gonna be it's a holding penalty, and it looks like they're gonna mark it from the 44. So it was a downfield hold, but it's still gonna be a loss on the play. Not really sure where the foul, it might have been right there on the receiver. I think it was on 87, Tristan Riley, who was holding one of the Marcus defenders, and that penalty gets marked off back to the 34, so it's going to be 3rd and 7 now, back at the 33-yard line. Just over 3 minutes to go here in the ball game. Marcus, another opportunity to get a stop here. Curious to see if they use it, depending on what the play is, if they use a timeout here. Little Elm let the play clock run as they should. Shotgun snap back. Adams, he's looking to throw. Fires and pass. It's incomplete. Tried to hit number 14, Jalen Finney, on a little quick slant. It would have been short of the sticks as Bradley Umi-Ezioki was right there, even if the pass had been caught. And Marcus also not only gets the stop, they also get to save a timeout. And they're going to get the ball back with the 2-minute warning and all 3 of their timeouts to work with, as they're going to try and get an opportunity to tie this ball game. Austin Allen back deep for the punt. High snap, but it's a line drive kick this time. Hits and rolls inside the 35 and will roll down to the 29, and that's where it will be downed. So not a great punt, but got a fortunate roll that time, did Little Elm, and the Marauders will start at their own 29-yard line after a 38-yard punt.
Well, I mean, something's got to change here. If ever, it's got to be now. I mean, you're talking about playoff hopes on the line here. You have to win this game if you want any chance of staying in the playoff race if you're Marcus. So a really big drive, potentially the biggest drive of the season up to this point.
Well, Marcus cannot be eliminated with a loss tonight, but their chances of getting into the playoffs are minuscule if they are not able to come back in this game this evening. 1st and 10 at the 29 for the Marauders. As Mayfield was under center, now they shift around and Torgerson moves into the shotgun. Snap back, and it's a reverse to Austin Allen, and he tries to get the corner, does get around the outside, and is going to get dragged down from behind. And there comes the flag. I was wondering if one was going to come out. We're going to get a horse collar tackle on Austin Allen, as it was number 30, Zayden Watts, who was able to get to the back collar of Allen on the reverse after a 10-yard gain and just dragged him down from behind by the back of his shoulder pads.
Yeah, you can see it right there. The left hand just clearly on the shoulder pad. Even as he's running, he's calling, "Where's the flag? Where's the flag?"
Well,
and he got it.
Well, you had the referee who's staring right at it, didn't call it, but one of the referees downfield threw his flag. So add 10-yard run, add 15. That's going to move the ball to the 48-yard line of Little Elm. 1st and 10 for the Marauders as the clock starts again. Snap back to Torgerson. He's getting pressured, steps up, steps away, and now he's going to take off and run. Still on his feet and gets tripped up at the 43. He's going to get 5 yards on the carry, and I think that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. So 2 minutes to go. The Marauders have all 3 of their timeouts, and they're going to use them on offense, as it is they are trying to get the tying score here to get this game even at 24. This is Marcus Football Night on Champion Sports Radio and Tradio.
I've been practicing law for 30 years. I have said one phrase more than any other. Why didn't you call me sooner? There are ways to accomplish the same goals in litigation from a perspective of finding solutions to complex problems as opposed to winning. I firmly believe that if you think you need a lawyer, you need to come in and talk to one. We would be more than happy to guide you so that you don't have
The Marcus Marauders down 24-17 with 2 minutes to go. Jacob Dedamore, Tyler Welch here with you. And the Marauders have the ball first, second and 5 at the Little Elm 43. All 3 timeouts still for the Marauders. Shotgun snap back to Torgerson. And he's going to step up, is pressured again, but he's going to get wrapped up for a yard loss, as it was number 13, Damari Steele, who was able to wrap him up for the sack. And again, that time the pocket just collapsed almost immediately around Torgerson, and he couldn't escape. 3rd and 6 now back at the 44. Snap back to Torgerson, and he's going to fire one to the sideline. Pass is it is incomplete. Another drop. This time it was Luke Susko who had the ball in his hands at about the 40 and just dropped it. And now it's 4th and 6 for the Marauders, and they are serious. It's not quite do or die with all 3 timeouts, but they're in some deep trouble here.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to make this, almost have to make it if you really want to have a chance to stay in this game. Not quite, obviously, like you said, because of the 3 timeouts, but, I mean, it actually looks like they're going to use one of their timeouts here, so they're going to take a little bit more time to think about it.
Marcus is going to make sure they have the right play here on 4th and 6. This is their best opportunity here. I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, this is what's been happening this whole second half. It's just Marcus guys have an opportunity to make a play. They don't. Or they get a penalty. You know, they make a play, get a penalty. You know, it's just been, if it's not one error, it's another this entire second half, and it's what's allowed Little Elm to come back from 14 points down.
Right, it really feels like Marcus is hurting themselves more than they're letting Little Elm make the big plays. But then, of course, after Marcus makes a mistake or two, it's Little Elm who is capitalizing on those decisions and making points out of it, making stops out of it, and that's really just been the entire story of the second half. The Marauders need to do something different, make a few good plays back to back to back if they're going to have any chance.
They got to make one play right now.
That's right.
Fourth and 6 for the Marauders at the Little Elm 44-yard line. 1:35 to go here in the ball game. 3 receivers at the bottom of the formation. Shotgun snap back to Torgerson. Fires a pass over the middle, and it is incomplete. And here comes the flag. I was wondering if there was going to be PI, and there is, as the defender, number 25, Gavin Ellis, really looked like he, in many ways, used leverage. Austin Allen on a slant, he kind of grabbed a hold of Allen and used him to pull himself in front and get a hand on that ball and knock it away. And so the Marauders get the first down at the 33 on the pass interference. At least from up here, we haven't looked at the replay yet, but it looked pretty obvious from up here that the PI occurred. 1st and 10 at the 33 for Marcus. 1:30 to go. Snap back to Torgerson. He is going to get pressured, and he's going to get sacked. Back at the 36, it's a loss of 3. He had time initially. The pocket started to collapse, and he just couldn't find a lane to get to escape to before he got dropped behind the line of scrimmage, and the Marauders call their second timeout. They've been bringing 4 or 5. They've been bringing at least 4 on every play this possession, sometimes 5, bringing pressure, and that time Torgerson just couldn't escape.
I believe that was Aiden Main, number 99, the guy that we said that the Marauders need to look out for. He's had kind of a quiet game up to this point, but I saw him in there on that play to help with the sack. A really great play for them, and yet again, Marauders have a good play. They're able to get a first down, but now they get pushed back, 2nd and 13, and it just feels like every single time that they move forward, whether it be by a penalty, whether it be by a good play, they're getting pushed back a few yards right after.
Marauders now have 1 timeout left. Everything, of course, at this point is going to be 4-down territory. Clock does stop on a first down, at least for a few seconds as they reset chains. Offense team now back out on the field. In the shotgun is Torgerson. Gets the snap. Fires one over the middle. Pass is caught by Jamison Mayfield. He breaks a tackle inside the 25, down to the 23. It's going to be a first down on a 13-yard catch and run by Mayfield.
And Torgerson fired a bullet on that one. You see the replay here real quick before they go into. Never mind, we're going to go right into this one because we're running tempo.
Snap back to Torgerson. He fires one, pass is caught by Allen, and he slips and falls out of bounds. He was trying to turn upfield and get a few more yards, but he just lost his footing. It was only a gain of 4, but he did get out of bounds to stop the clock at the 19.
And we're going to watch that one back. Just a short throw to his receiver there. Receiver slipped, started grabbing his knee as he came up, but pushed his coaches aside, said, I want to stay in for this one. That's a true competitor right there.
He was trying to turn up and see if he could get a few more yards out of that, but he did get out of bounds. 2nd and 6 now at the 19, 59 seconds to go. Snap back to Torgerson, looking to throw, stepping up in the pocket, gets away from pressure. Now he's still looking, and fires, and that pass is going to be incomplete. Trying to get it to Mayfield. The pass is a little bit low, and Mayfield couldn't get his arms underneath it to scoop it, and it's going to be 3rd down.
Like you said, Mayfield trying to get his hands underneath it. That one just a little bit low. Had to dive forward for it as Torgerson threw it quite short, but unable to do so. Good call by this officiating crew here. Had a lot of time to try and get rid of it, but just nowhere to go with the ball.
But we had a penalty of some kind. We were looking at the replay. Did not see what the penalty was, but it moved the ball down to the 10-yard line. It must have been a personal foul of some kind. My apologies, folks, for missing that. They moved the ball half the distance to the goal, and the Marauders have it. 1st and goal just inside the 10. My apologies for missing the call. Austin Allen comes in motion. Rolling to his left is Torgerson. Looking to throw, getting pressured, gets away and gets the ball off before the sack, thankfully, to stop the clock, and the pass falls incomplete. It's going to be 2nd and goal.
Again, we see Little Elm bringing that pressure, that time from the outside edge. Believe that.
Well, that was once again number 13, Damari Steele.
A name we said many times.
Yeah, he has been causing all kinds of problems in this game for the offensive line of the Marauders. Lining up as a defensive tackle and just getting penetration on a number of plays tonight. 2nd and goal now from just inside the 10. Torgerson swings it out. It's caught by McKnight, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown. They swing Cade McKnight out on a wheel route. Nobody went with him. Torgerson just lobbed it into the gut of his running back, and he walks in untouched.
Well, I don't think Torgerson is ever going to have an easier touchdown pass in his career. As you said, just a wheel route out to the right. Nobody goes with him, and he just waltzes right in.
A 9-yard touchdown pass to Cade McKnight with 39 seconds to go in the ball game. The Marauders actually are keeping the offense on the field here, and looks like they're going to go for 2. So the Marauders going to try and take the lead here with 39 seconds to go. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. Snap back. Torgerson rolls to his right, gets pressured, steps away, fires. The pass is deflected, and it's incomplete. Torgerson was trying to find a man, and the pass got tipped at the line of scrimmage and falls incomplete, and the Marauders still trail by a point.
He watched the back. He had plenty of time. He was able to avoid the sack there with a quick little slide step. Finds himself some more time, but then the ball deflected by the defender.
That was number 94, Zaylen Mosley, who got his hands up and deflected the pass, and no Marauder player could get to it off the deflection, and it falls incomplete, and the Marauders now trail by a point. That's a gutsy call by Coach Alexander there to go for 2 instead of kicking the extra point to tie the ball game. You can kind of understand it the way this second half has gone. The Lobos offense has been very effective. whereas the Marauders offense has had trouble moving the ball consistently. Coach Alexander choosing to take his shot there instead of potentially going to overtime.
So now we'll see how they decide to attack this onside kick here. They've got people lined up on both sides of the field, as well as two players beside the kicker on either side.
And Kogler boots it, and it is recovered easily, but actually they stopped play before the kick happens. It looked like Little Elm called a timeout prior to the kick. Yes, it was. It was the Lobos that called timeout prior to the kick, which is fortunate for Marcus because it was a low line drive kick from Kogler, and one of the Little Elm up men dove forward, which is that's a dangerous play as an up man to dive forward like that before the ball goes 10 yards, because if you deflect it, it's now live. But Little Elm went ahead and called a timeout prior to the kick once they saw the formation, so we'll try this again. The Lobos trying to get their first win of the season. So now both teams back out onto the field after the timeout, and we'll try this one more time. Kogler kicked it last time. Diaz is out there as well. And this time they go with a little straightforward onside kick, and the ball's on the ground. This one's going to be interesting. There's a pileup. It got batted around by multiple players there. They're having to unpile this thing. And the Marauders get it. The Marauders cover the ball. It was Gage Patrick, number 21, the junior linebacker.
It was just a kick straight up the middle, and he runs after himself, is able to knock down some of the other people, and then number 21 there is able to fall on top of it, land at the bottom of that pile and get the ball.
Yeah, it was just a scrum. One of the Little Elm players tried to go up and catch it as he was getting hit, and it went off his hands, and then it just became a mad scramble for the ball, and Gage Patrick comes up with it, and the Marauders are still alive. 39 seconds left. They have one timeout to work with as they try to get in range for a potential game-winning field goal. 4 wide setup here on first down. Snap back to Torgerson. Rolls to his right. Fires. That pass is caught and out of bounds. Or is there no play? Little Elm called timeout before the snap, so that's why it looked really odd. Everybody's kind of going half speed. So timeout before the snap, and that's Little Elm's final timeout. They reset the clock back to 39 seconds. Everybody thought the play was running. I mean, everybody kind of continued with the play, and then I guess a few people realized that whistles had blown. But, you know, all for naught. We'll do it again. Little Elm now has used all their timeouts. Again, Santiago Diaz this year, he has a good leg. We saw tonight, he tried one from 47, and it was no good. It was maybe a touch short and off to the left, but I've seen him kick balls this year. He has plenty of leg if he makes good contact. Like that 47-yarder just got under it a little bit. So the goal here, you know, you got to think you're trying, if you're Marcus, at least to try and get down to around the 30 to give Diaz a chance. After the timeout, try this again. 1st and 10 at the 49. Snap back to Torgerson. Steps up, fires one, pass is caught by Allen. He's trying to get to the sideline, and he will get out of bounds. Great job by Austin Allen to get yardage and get out of bounds. A 7-yard gain to the 42 with 32 seconds left.
As they watch replay there, Allen just runs to the right there. It wasn't a complex route by any means, just a simple route out to the outside, and then, like you said, breaks the tackle, able to get out of bounds to get a much needed stoppage of time.
Yeah, he made a little stutter step move on Gavin Ellis to get him off balance, and that allowed him to get to the sideline. 2nd and 3 now at the 42 for the Marauders. Torgerson drops back, now rolling to his right again, trying to avoid pressure, and he's going to fire one just out of bounds towards the sideline. Well, it looked like he was maybe trying to get it to Kogler, but that was one where he was just trying to make sure he didn't get sacked, and now it's 3rd and 3 from the 42 with 24 seconds left. Marauders probably about, if they can get about another 12 yards, they're going to at least give Santiago Diaz a chance here. They still do have the 1 timeout. Three wide formation. Low snap, but corralled by Torgerson. He's going to fire. Pass is caught by Allen, but it was only for a couple of yards, and they're going to have to use their last timeout. That was a really shallow route by Austin Allen, probably more shallow than the coaches would have wanted because he didn't even get the first down and got tackled in bounds, and now it's going to be 4th and a yard.
Right, and before he even had a chance to try and turn it upfield and get it a first down, was immediately being tackled by the defender, so no chance to turn it into either a first down or an out-of-bounds play. So they're having to use that timeout. Now, if they have to try and go for that kick, they're going to have to run that kicker onto the field. I really don't think that they're going to be able to get him on.
Well, there's 17 seconds left. If they get the first down, the clock will stop to reset the chains. You can line up immediately and spike it and give yourself another opportunity. So, but they have to get the first down, whether it's inbounds or out of bounds. You got to get the first down. Honestly, if I'm the Marauders, I'm trying to see, instead of looking towards the sideline, I'm trying to see if I can find my tight end Bear Kogler, or maybe if I can find Mayfield or Austin Allen on a slant over the middle where you'd think there might be some more open space, and get a chunk of yardage, get down, spike the ball. 4th and a yard at the 40. Last chance here for the Marauders. They've got to get this one to give themselves another opportunity. Three wide setup with McKnight in the backfield. Officials are still getting set. And now we're ready to go. 4th and a yard for Marcus at the Little Elm 40. Snap back. Torgerson fires over the middle. Pass is caught by Mayfield, and he gets down at the 29-yard line. Now they have to get up and spike the ball and stop the clock. And they do exactly that with 10 seconds left in the ball game at the 29. Coach Alexander must have been listening to me about that pass over the middle.
You're absolutely right. That's exactly what they did. Just a simple pass up the middle, and he was wide open. Really no one around him. It looked like a zone defense maybe playing back, playing safely. But that leads to them getting it right where they want it, in a place where there's a very real chance for them to make a game-winning field goal.
And 10 seconds left, not even going to take a chance to run another play. They're going to bring the field goal team on now, and it's going to be a 46-yard attempt right in the middle of the field for Santiago Diaz with a chance to give the Marauders a lead. Referees are waiting, getting everything set. It is Easton Mitchell, the holder. They dropped a flag, and I'm not sure why. They were holding that shouldn't be a delay of game. They were holding the ball up for a snap. Oh, they had the down marker wrong. That's what the officials were trying to get the crew to change. The referee didn't know it, and he dropped the flag thinking it was delay. But now they got because it is second down technically. Santiago Diaz lines it up from 46 yards. Snap is down. The kick has got the leg. It's on the way. It is good! Santiago Diaz from 46 yards gives the Marauders a 26-24 lead with 4 seconds left in the ball game. What a clutch kick by Santiago Diaz, who missed from 47 yards earlier tonight, had one from 25. And I believe, I'm going to double check this, but I believe that is a season-long field goal from Santiago Diaz as he connects from 47 yards out, as the Marauders also had that ball right in the middle of the field. Yes, his long this year was 36, and he drilled that kick from 46.
Absolutely. He was just a yard or two short earlier in this game from the same distance. That time, there was no question about it. He absolutely nailed that, hit it right in the center, and that was just a beautiful kick. And just like that, the Marcus Marauders go from what would have been a horrible loss to what is likely going to be a much, much needed win.
Well, we'll see. There's still 4 seconds left to go. And I think what has happened here, I think the Marauders may have gotten called for too much celebrating by this. Well, maybe not. They're calling unsportsmanlike on Marcus. Again, this officiating crew has had their struggles tonight, and I think they just had one there, calling a team for being happy. So this is going to back the kickoff actually up to the 25-yard line. The question is what do you do if you're Marcus? I think you got to squib this kick, and force a return and allow your guys to get down there. Santiago Diaz has a good leg. You know, he can boot it. He could probably get it. He's kicked it deep into the end zone before. You know, he's probably got about 65 yards worth of leg on him, which means he could get this down to the 10 if he booted it as hard as he could. But you want to force a return here and try and run the clock out. You just can't let him get loose. 4 seconds left. The Marauders now lead 26-24 after Santiago Diaz hits a 46-yard field goal after the Marauders had recovered an onside kick. It has been a crazy last 2 minutes. Diaz lines it up from the 25. And he boots it as hard and deep as he can. It's going all the way back to the 15 where it will be returned. Coming on the near side, out to the 25, and he is tackled. Austin Allen takes down Cash Alexander, and that is the ball game. Now what? I think the game is over.
You would think it would be. What?
Oh my God. They have called a penalty on Marcus on the kickoff for an illegal, either an illegal formation or something. Man, oh man. Woo!
Looking back at that replay, I'm really not sure who that penalty was called on, but one way or another, we are doing this kickoff again.
We don't have our typical field sound tonight. You folks in the audience are hearing the field sound. We can't hear it in the booth. And I don't know if they called it. I mean, it's not a false start on a kick. They must have called an illegal. Man. Boy, this over-officious group of Stripes tonight has been a piece of work. So we're going to line it up one more time. Diaz again will try to boot it as deep as he can. This is going to be an untimed down. And really here he just needs to squib it because the time ran off the clock. This is an untimed down. And that's exactly what he does. He squibs it, and it goes through the legs of one man, and then Little Elm just falls on it. And now the game is over unless the officials want to call something else. This is all guys are shoving after the play, but this is all post-possession. Post-play, trying to see if the refs want to extend this game any further. Looks like they don't, and the game is finally over. the Marcus Marauders with an incredible comeback as they score 9 points in the final, really 39 seconds of the ball game, and they get a miraculous and much-needed win, 26-24 over Little Elm, to keep higher odd playoff hopes alive tonight is the best way to put it.
Yeah, well, it certainly wasn't pretty, but at this point in the season, a win is a win.
That's exactly right.
They did what they needed to in those last minutes. Really, not even those last minutes. That last minute to get this win. They did a really great job to come back after giving up that lead that they had in the first half. So a very gutsy fourth quarter for them. They did what they needed to do, and like you said, they have given themselves a chance to stay in this playoff race.
Yeah, they get the win tonight. The Marauders will go to 3-3 in district play and set themselves up with a decent opportunity to make the playoffs next week when they host the Coppell Cowboys at Marauder Stadium. The win tonight also moves Marcus to they're 5. I've lost track of the record now because I can't remember what it was before we got here tonight. My brain is blanking after this insanity of what just happened in that last minute. The Marauders are now 5-3 on the season and 3-3 in District 5-6A. You know, I will say this: I really feel for the Little Elm Lobos because they fought their tails off tonight and thought that, they were this close to getting their first win of the season. And look, I'm one of those guys at this level especially. I hate it when teams, I hate it for the kids when a team goes winless. I just hate it, and I didn't want it tonight, but you hope that Little Elm was able to get a win somewhere along the way.
Especially on their senior night, they really played their hearts out, like you said. And, they were just 1 or 2 plays away from getting that first win. They played spectacularly, really, in that second half. Their offense looked really strong. They had some great offensive plays, had some great offensive drives, just did a fantastic job of moving the ball, getting themselves back in a position to potentially win the game. But then, of course, late touchdown, onside kick, and then the big field goal just takes it out from under their feet right when they thought they had it.
Boy, what a comeback tonight by the Marauders after Little Elm had the comeback of their own to take the lead in that fourth quarter. The Marauders get a touchdown. They try to go for 2 to take the lead after the touchdown with 39 seconds left. They don't get it, but then they get the onside kick, and they're able to turn that onside kick into a season-long 46-yard field goal from Santiago Diaz, and the Marauders get the win 26-24. That's going to do it for us here tonight in Little Elm at Lobo Stadium. Tyler, thank you so much for filling in tonight.
Yes,
glad
sir.
You got to see an exciting football game, and glad you got to see a Marauders win. Thank you to everyone here on our Tradio crew, as next week will be the season finale. It'll be senior night at they did senior night stuff earlier in the year, so it's not senior night for Marcus. They did it early in the season. My bad. But it will be the season finale at Marauder Stadium not a week from tonight. It'll be on Thursday night next week on the 6th of November, as they will host the Coppell Cowboys, trying to get themselves into the 2025 Class 6A playoffs. For everyone here on the crew tonight, my name is Jacob Dedamore. For Tyler Welch, your final once again, Marcus 26, Little Elm 24. Everyone have a safe drive home. Have a great weekend, and go Marcus.